Hi, I'm Moorea, and my team and I have put together a presentation that discusses the challenges and strategies concerning our operations here at Best Buy. Next slide. So to begin, we'll discuss the few issues we're facing, following up with the internal and external analysis, and then conclude with strategies and recommendations. So basically, one of our issues is that Best Buy is currently struggling to adapt to an online platform and losing some of its market share to our competitors within the consumer electronic industry. And then part of the issue is that our prominent brick and mortar stores are getting less appealing to customers. And because we are predominantly brick and mortar, this puts us at a disadvantage against our main competitors in e-commerce. And so we do see value in having our big box retail stores because of the capabilities it has, such as serving as an in-house warehouse, distribution center, and acting as a showroom. But we've also found challenges with this because of the lack of our online presence. Next slide. And then, so that leads us to our other issue that we face, which is that Best Buy lacks a true competitive advantage that differentiates us from our competition in terms of the products that we sell. We do take pride in our employees, our Geek Squad, and other services, but we do not have any exclusivity with a multitude of products being sold. And so with our Renew Blue strategy and really honing in on the customer experience, we believe that it gives us our sustainable competitive advantage against our competitors, but to gain an overall competitive edge against our rivals, we believe that we need to take additional approaches. So now I'm going to pass it on to Raphael for the internal analysis.
So when looking through our value chain analysis, it can be seen that most of our strengths that are relevant to tackling the existing issues are related to how we add value to our services. Next slide. So a major reason for Best Buy's turnover success was their renewed focus on their employees. The investment from Best Buy, from us, went full throttle into spending countless hours interviewing team members one-on-one to learn about frustrations and where to find the gaps in our service. This increased focus has led to better trained and, most importantly, more engaged blue shirts that are willing to help customers make informed decisions. This level of service is unmatched by close competitors, especially those in the online sector. Best Buy also has 600 in-home tech advisors who make house calls to advise customers on tech purchases and solutions, along with 20,000 Geek Squad members. In addition, Best Buy launched Total Tech Support 2.5 years ago, a membership service that's powered by Geek Squad that aims to support all the tech in the home, no matter where or when you bought it. Best Buy has already sold more than 2 million memberships in 2019, which go for around 200 a year. This gives the company an important head start as other retailers are realizing the importance of this service. Another service that adds significant value to our store is our shop-in-shop concept, or the store within a store concept, in which the supplier is responsible for their own showroom, thus the cost is shifted to the supplier. Specifically labor costs, where suppliers bring their own knowledgeable employees and agents to a Best Buy location. This creates a collective entrepreneurship which attracts many other suppliers, such as Google. That's a business model which allows the two sides to share the risks and rewards of getting closer to the customer. This is beneficial to suppliers that do not have a large physical footprint like our firm. This leads to a wealth of knowledgeable employees that help sell big ticket items that need the extra level of service for customers to feel comfortable. This also allows new revenue streams to exist for Best Buy, as suppliers have to rent the space within Best Buy. All right, next slide. So the major weakness as it pertains to the issue is how Best Buy has failed to capitalize on the growth of the online sales market. In 2018, online sales only constituted 20.9% of our revenue. There's tremendous room for growth in this sector, which will go more in depth as we present our potential strategies. The company is also heavily dependent on a small number of suppliers, which increase supplier power in the industry, and thus relationships have to be carefully maintained. So now I'll go to Gavin for the external analysis.
Yeah, next slide, please. So looking at opportunities as it relates to the issues, a senior health focus for Best Buy could be a great opportunity to tap into new markets for our company. A Morgan Stanley report suggests that Best Buy can make more from healthcare products rather than electronics. And after acquiring Great Call, safety products and service for elderly, we are in a great position for this as well. Next, we have strategic acquisitions have helped Best Buy grow in the past. We've had success with companies like Magnolia or Musicland, and with companies like Sears or Radio Shack on a decline, it may be able to benefit while securing more market share. Next, as we discussed before, increasing online sales still stands to be a great opportunity for Best Buy as it has much room for growth. And lastly, if you look at the next slide, you can see there is a growth trend projected within the consumer electronics industry, which could serve to be beneficial for Best Buy. And there's actually another report that states a projected 7% increase from 2020 to 2026 within this market, according to the report. And then the next slide. And as we look at threats, Best Buy does face a high level of competition, especially in the online sector with competitors like Amazon. Additionally, they face competition from streaming services like Netflix and other brick and mortar competitors such as Walmart that serve to be a threat in terms of market share. Additionally, there is the possibility of a potential economic recession due to the pandemic, which could be a threat to Best Buy's growth strategies. According to reports from Bloomberg Economics and the Labor Department, there are trends among data based on variables like unemployment rate, Federal Reserve interest rate, and change in GDP that relate to those of previous recessions, such as those in 2001 and 2008. And lastly, showrooming serves to be a threat for Best Buy as customers try products within our stores and then purchase at a discount rate online somewhere else. So following up with that, we're going to check out some financials on the next slide with Moorea.
Thanks. So for our financials, Best Buy is currently profitable, even though we're profiting with looking at the numbers through 2018, as the financial sheet shows. We see that our cash has been decreasing, and this is reflected from our increase in inventory, again, as we see in our numbers, and our buying back strategy. And so we continue to buy back our own stock because we do have confidence and believe in our company, and believe that it has good value. And then so with our net income increasing and our cost of goods sold increasing, this also shows that we are indeed selling more products and profiting. And so aside from the potential economic recession, with the current pandemic, we have really optimized our brick and mortar stores because majority have stayed open with curbside pickup. And additionally, with our efforts regarding transitioning into a greater online presence, our online orders sales have really heightened during this time. Because of the higher online sales, this has also led our company into higher fulfillment expenses, which has lowered our gross margins in the beginning of the pandemic, but it did keep our revenues high. And so we have seen a success with our Renew Blue strategy in terms of finances during this time, and we do expect a bright financial future for Best Buy. We also expect our revenues and sales to continue to grow. So basically, looking at all our numbers and our financials, it shows that we have been ultimately consistent and that our company is under control and very stable. Next slide.
So for the recommendations today, the first one is the first strategy is to continue the process of increasing e-commerce capabilities to match competitors and meet customers' expectations. And the second one is to tap into new markets such as elder healthcare, technology, and customer service.
So to formulate our first strategy, we consider the growth potential of the e-commerce industry, which is forecasted to grow at an annual compounded growth rate of 8.5% by 2022, this is almost double that of 2017. Best Buy has already heavily invested into e-commerce, as last year we spent $448 million in capital expenditure to develop and upgrade our e-commerce capabilities. This investment resulted in an increased outbound logistics, as our 3 metro e-commerce centers have allowed us to reach 50 million people in the US with next day delivery. This matches the capability of Amazon. Next slide. Best Buy is well positioned to execute a growth strategy that aims to further expand the capabilities of e-commerce while truly differentiating ourselves from the closest competitors. We aim to utilize our competitive advantage of our physical footprint, Our brick and mortar stores will serve as warehouses and distribution centers to fulfill the increased demand of the industry. We already have 1,009 physical stores in the US. This physical presence will allow us to provide greater customer choice as we can offer pickup and delivery options, and customers do not have to wait for their order to be delivered. It can be picked up at their convenience. Next slide. This strategy has already benefited the company and thus gives us confidence that it will be viable going forward. The numbers have clearly shown that customers respond well to this capability. E-commerce was 53% of total revenue, a drastic increase from the past. 40% of these sales were online and picked up at the store. This advantage will be hard to replicate as competitors do not have the depth or the breadth of our electronic catalog coupled with our physical footprint. We should use our resources to further improve the capabilities of our pickup options, especially amid the pandemic. This has proven to be a preferred choice for many customers and has allowed us to retain a major chunk of our revenue in the COVID-19 crisis. Further improvements can be made and should be made to create a seamless experience in the online sector. So now I'll go to Julio for the second strategy.
Thanks, Raphael. So yeah, our second strategy, as we said, is to focus on elder healthcare. Best Buy has already acquired a remote service monitoring called Critical Signal Technologies, and it will use its platform to bolster a push into the Medicare Advantage market. CST services consist of personal emergency response systems, wellness coaching, remote vital sign monitoring, chronic disease management, telehealth, and much more. CST boosts more than 100,000 seniors subscribers and approximately 900 providers and 350 housing properties, which will all will fall under Best Buy's. This complements Best Buy's acquisitions, just like Gavin explained with Great Call, a senior-focused smartphone and remote monitoring platform. Next slide. So yeah, adding on to that, they also added a Tito's Healthcare telehealth platform. Best Buy is now offering the remote care device and service throughout its online storefront. Tito's Care is combining an increased convenience and accessibility with the power of a trusted retailer, healthcare providers, insurers, and employers to deliver consumers the best that telehealth has to offer. Best Buy must acquire more products and services that align with senior-focused healthcare in order to have businesses in different industries and markets. Enhancing the primary care delivery, Best Buy plans to extend the on-demand telehealth platform across the US.
All right. Building off of Julio, Best Buy also acquired Biosensics in August of 2019. Biosensics is a predictive health technology business that can detect health hazards for seniors, such as falls. They are a global leader in the development of wearable sensors and digital technologies for clinical trials and healthcare. They have started their early phase study collaboration, so they are offering their expertise in protocol development, data analysis plan, and software customization. Best Buy purchased the company along with its data science and engineering team to drive up the innovation of a wearable sensor technology. This complements Best Buy's Geek Squad and in-home advisors by offering another professional service that involves direct help from the Best Buy team that currently can't be replicated by its competitors due to the size of the team built and known brand significance. To make this succeed, Best Buy will need some of the largest health insurers in the country to cover Best Buy's services, such as United Healthcare, Anthem, and Aetna. Biosensics already has partnerships and umbrella contracts with research institutions and hospitals across the United States. So they already have an established presence in the healthcare industry, making it easier for Best Buy to break in. They will also need this newer technology to be accepted and compatible with the new wave of seniors. According to the National Institutes of Health, the population of people 65 and older are supposed to increase by 50% over the next 2 decades. This increase will create a wider market for elder healthcare technology And with each generation being more accustomed to involving technology in their home, the implementation of Best Buy's healthcare products will go seamlessly.
So to conclude, with entering a new market and the implementation of our strategies and recommendations, we see a brighter future for Best Buy and see us to continue to be a leader in our industry. While the pandemic brings some uncertainty, we are confident in our ability to come out stronger on the other side and are excited for the growth and changes these recommendations can bring. And thanks for listening.